D&D tattoo right on my neck.
Shut the fuck up. Are you serious?
Just the letters D and then the ampersand D. So people know.
That you are now a D&D player?
That I'm for real.
And you haven't even played one game yet, dude.
Zero experience.
Dude, Nick, you're the king of jumping in way too early, dude. What?
Fucking just diving into the deep end all the time.
Unreal.
Welcome back to another episode of Toon Talk TV, presented by We Are the Television, the show where we talk about everything that has to do with cartoons. Brett, how has your President's Day was yesterday? Did you celebrate your favorite president?
I worked, man, because I'm broke and I need money and I don't know how to stop working. But I don't even know who my favorite president is. Who's my favorite? Probably, I don't know. Who's your favorite president?
Abraham Lincoln. He had a big reach. He could probably fight Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Oh, dude. Like a death match between all the presidents? Yeah, Abraham would be probably pretty good as a boxer.
A death match between all the presidents? That's a pretty good idea. What else is going on in life, dude?
We're around in the end of the month, which means we haven't been drinking for almost 4 weeks now. How are you feeling?
Dude, I feel sharper, taller. Like, my mind works better, dude.
I do too, actually. I do too.
Everything but my fun level is increased. Fun level is just, like, in the pits, dude. Like,
absolutely.
Never been lower.
I couldn't agree more.
That's what happens. You stop drinking, you become more productive and less fun.
Yeah, all areas in my life have definitely improved except for the fun meter. But that's okay. You know, we'll come back to it in March.
Yeah. What about you, Al? How's your fun meter?
Yeah,
today?
Al, talk to us. Nothing, huh? Come on, dude.
Yeah.
We're having a podcast. Wake the fuck up, dude.
All right. Oh, well, I guess, Al's not participating today or whatever the fuck he's doing. Anyhow, Brett, this week I have probably one of my favorite cartoons to get into that I've watched in a very long time. But I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that because I want to go second today.
Okay, all right.
But this is also brought to you by, as we mentioned, We Are the Television. So if you're new to the channel, like, follow, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/We Are the Television. Got some exclusive stuff there that you can check out. But this is the pod where we ask the question, what cartoons are you watching? And Brett, hit me with the cartoon that you are watching this week.
I am watching The Legend of Pipi. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I did.
Oh, dude, it's I don't know.
I have a feeling that you selected this one specifically because of our conversation where I was saying that I might dive into Dungeons and Dragons.
No, I feel like it was the perfect, I don't know how I stumbled upon this. I think I've seen the thumbnail on YouTube a few times, and
okay.
I recently I was like, fuck it, I'm going to watch it. And, but yes, it aligns very well with Dungeons and Dragons. It is a story about the cat. There's a cat kingdom, and the princess in the cat kingdom was stolen by a giant monster. Mm-hmm. And the king is looking for a hero, and only one hero shows up, and it is the shittiest looking hero you could possibly get. Yes, it's Pipi. Pipi the cat.
Is it Pipi or Pie Pie?
It's Pipi. If you look on the YouTube channel, the pronunciation is in the description. Okay. So it's
Pipi.
It's Pipi. And Pipi is a tiny, cute little cat. And I feel like this animation was so cool because I feel like it mixes bloody gore with the cutest, cute and gory together, which you don't normally see. I feel like if you do see it's more on the end of the cute, but yeah. I feel like this got pretty gory, and they were saying what the hell once, and there's blood and fire everywhere. So I feel like it is a little more adult than it is cute, but I felt like they meshed pretty well. But yeah, this was created by Julia Schoel, and we'll link it in the description. But her YouTube handle is Papa Julia. But yeah, so basically, I don't know. I pretty much described it. I think everything about this project was great. I think the shots were interesting. They weren't flat. There was a lot of foreshortening and stuff like that. The color palettes were well thought out. The animation was smooth, and there was really good music and very minimal dialogue too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. The dialogue was very minimal, very visually entertaining for me.
For sure.
There's the one shot where it's kind of jumping. He's jumping from like kingdom to like area to area to find the princess. And it's like a montage of different princesses that he's saving.
It's funny too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, and each one was visually better than the one before it. Like it just kept building and building and building. I'm interested to see like the storyboards that they made for this, because I'm pretty sure those two as well were, told a really good story. There's one element of this that kind of puts animation into perspective for me. How long was this cartoon? It was
8.5 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So from the stuff that we do, there's 2 animators for the stuff that we do. And then at the end of this one, for an 8-minute cartoon, under the title of animator, they had at least 20 names. Like, it was insane. And for me, that put it into perspective, like how many hands and how difficult it is to work on even the smallest of projects like this.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I wonder what like, if this was just a passion project that someone funded. And I didn't really get a lot of information on that. It's nuts that an 8-minute project that's nonprofit can have this many people working on inside it. But it really shows like how much like, I don't know, work power it takes to create a well done animation like this. And it shows. It really did show in this one.
It was great. I would say like the scene where we get the most dialogue, when he goes up against the first villain. He's got like nipple rings, and then he's got like the earrings. But it shows you how thought out this small little adventure was, because in my mind, when I first watching this, I was like, oh, he already got to the bad guy this quick. What's going to happen now? And then it leads into the kind of joke where he's like holding up the missing poster to each princess, and he's like, all right, that's not the one, and got to keep going and going.
Yeah, one of the best parts about this for me is that this 8-minute animation was the concept. I feel like it was funny because you've seen this tale before. This like hero needs to go defend the captured princess. I've seen this a million times, but they changed it. This hero is accidentally saving 1 million princesses, and they're all the wrong one.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, oh, well, fuck her. Well, let's keep going type thing. Yeah. And then the ending was great. I feel like you did not see that coming either. And it was just like, you guys should go watch it. I won't say it, but it just doesn't end like you normally think like it would.
I thought it was great. I thought that was a great addition. This is something that I would love to see more from. Like, where can you take this character Pipi? Because he is the definition of underdog hero when you see him.
Totally.
So I loved it.
There's a lot of like. If you're interested in the making of and all of that stuff, there's a ton of that on YouTube. Some of the animators I saw put up like an animation reel from like Pipi. So if one of the animators like just put together a reel and said, this is the work I did on it. And I'll link that down below. It's Sagutoyas is the channel, but it had a pretty cool animation reel from this project.
Cool. Yeah, I thought that was a great addition. Go watch The Legend of Pipi. As Brett said, we'll link to the description.
Al, you haven't been talking much. What do you think? How do you feel about this project?
Did you get a chance to watch it?
Dude, you are useless, man. What the fuck, dude? What the hell, dude? Wake the fuck up, man.
Dude, Al is low T right now.
Yeah, very low T. Very low T. Okay, well.
So, for myself, going back, I heard a lot about this creator from you and from other people within our circle. It's on HBO Max, and it was just always one of those cartoons where I was like, I'll get to it next time. You know, it's always going to be there. You know, I'll get to it next time. I'll get to it next time. I'll get to it next time. And then in this month of sobriety, I've had more productive time. I've had more time to watch more things and do other shit that I went around and I clicked on 10-Year-Old Tom, created by Steve Dildaren, who you know as also the creator of The Life and Times of Tim, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is in your circle of one of your favorite cartoons.
Oh, dude,
right?
Absolutely. By far, it is. It's wonderful. It's definitely. I will let you keep talking, but Jesus Christ, I love Life and Times with Tim.
So I've watched a few episodes of Life of Times of Tim in the past, but the episodes for 10-Year-Old Tom are. They're half hour. It's almost like 2 mini stories in one. So I didn't get through the entire 12 episode first season, but I made sure to get halfway. So I'm halfway through season 1. And let me tell you, dude, what better way to show the mundane and ridiculous situations that adults get into than putting it through the eyes of a 10-year-old kid, played by Steve Dildaren, which is hilarious.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. It is so funny. Honestly, I mean, if you've seen Life and Times with Tim, I feel like correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the same fucking show. Do you not agree? I mean, I'm going to talk in the light of being a 10-year-old, but as outside of that, do you think it's the same show or no?
Dude, I almost feel, I'm pretty sure it's not, but it makes me feel like this is Tim when he's a little kid. So he's Tom as when he's 10, and then he grows up to be Tim in The Life of Times and Tim.
Well,
that's why I picture it.
I have a theory. I have a theory that, and I feel like this is the only cartoon that I could think of that has ever done this. But so Life and Times with Tim was, first of all, it came from a short that he did a long time ago called Unpaid Angry Hooker. And it's essentially episode 1 of Life and Times with Tim. But you could see that on YouTube. I'll link it in the description. But it's essentially the same. It's episode 1. But and the whole series takes place very much like that. This show is very minimal animated. It's almost it's a drawing and the mouth is moving. Almost. And for some reason, I feel like that makes the jokes better for some reason. And this is the only case in which I can say that, but it's just so funny to watch. It looks like these guys wrote something and they had like $5 left in their budget. And then they were like, all right, now we got to animate the entire show.
Let's cut out some paper cutouts of these characters that we drew and fucking put them in there is what it looks like.
But so the whole series happens on HBO. It's one of the earlier series on HBO. It's from a long time ago. And it got canceled. And for a while, before even HBO Max came out, HBO just had an app where it had all of the HBO shows. And I would go to that to rewatch like Game of Thrones or any of the like Sopranos or anything like that. But they took Life and Times with Tim off of that app. And I don't know why. They like stopped even before HBO Max. Like it just wasn't findable. And and when this came out, I feel like this show was the recreation of that, but as far as story goes, they corrected everything that was wrong with the first one. And I feel like this is the only show that did it perfectly because Tim in Life and Times with Tim got in very unfortunate situations, but you don't feel for that character because he's an adult. Like, you should know what, you should know what you're getting into. Yeah. And this character is the same exact character. It's the straight man, and I'm not saying straight man in terms of like his sexuality, but I mean like he's just a regular guy, and everyone around him is absolutely insane. Yeah. And they get into weird stories where Tom ends up being the reason that the person that everyone hates in the end. Yeah. So and this character is so much better than Tim because you feel for him because it's a kid. It's a 10. Like, yeah. So if all these insane people are around doing these things, this character is just like, oh, okay, let's do that. Like that thing. And then at the end of the episode, they're in the wildest scenario ever. Did you see the lemonade stand episode?
Yeah. That's the last one that I watched. Like I got up to the lemonade one, which is good.
Some 10-year-old kid is just selling lemonade on the street, and then an advertiser is like, you need to step up your game.
You need to scale up.
And he brings him to a marketing agency, and it's like it's the stupidest, awesomest thing at the same time.
10-year-old Tom. So the other thing too is the guests voices that are in this show. You get everyone from John Malkovich. Mark, I'm going to butcher this last name. Proshk. He's Nate from The Office, and he's Colin Robinson in What We Do in the Shadows.
He's great, dude. He's great.
He's Dakota's dad, I'll talk about. He's in one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
You got Todd Glass, Tim Robinson is in it, and then Thomas Lennon, who is from Reno 911, who's the marketing guy that takes Tom on his lemonade journey.
Okay, cool.
But my I want to talk about my two standout episodes. The first one is a yearbook to disremember, where he's got to get his yearbook poster. He's got the blazer and he's combing his hair. But the part that really stood out to me is when he comes home from getting the picture and his grandma's at the table, and he's like, "Hey, grandma, you doing all right? Can I get you a drink?" And she's like, "Oh, Tommy, you're such a good boy. How about a cortada?" And he's like, and the grandma's played by Sandy Martin, who you know as Mac's mom from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay, cool.
But she's like, "Can you get me a cortada?" And he was like, "I don't know. I was thinking something more in the juice water realm." And then, the conversation ensues. And she's like, "My grandson can't even make me a cortada." And much like a 10-year-old, he's like, "I don't think you understand how complicated that drink is. Why don't you just go to Starbucks?" But it's fucking little things, dialogue like that make this cartoon. And like you said, the animation style that make it come home and make it fucking way more funny. Second one,
his timing too, dude. I don't know why he's not like a bigger comedian or something, or I haven't heard of this Steve Daldarian, but the timing of like what he says and how he says it seems improvised. It's so funny. He reminds me of Ray Romano for some reason.
Yes, he does. Yeah. He does have the way that he answers what people are doing around him. Very Ray Romano-esque. You get that there's an episode, I can't remember what it is. It's probably one of the earlier ones, but he's on the school bus with his buddy Nelson, and the school bus driver is like, they're telling him he needs to play baseball, and the school bus driver's like, "Yeah, you can get a lot of tail." And Tom's like, he's 10, so he's like, "Tail? What's that?" He's like, I'm not getting the metaphor. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. And then he's like, "Pussy, dude." And he's like, "Jesus Christ." He's like, "We're 10. I don't even like girls right now." But the other standout episode is the one that stars Mark Prosh as Dakota's dad, where Tom has to go on the fishing trip with him.
Oh, the boys' trip! It's so
the boys'
funny,
trip.
Yeah.
And the scene in question is Dakota's dad tells him to go inside, get me some beers, some rubbers, and some snacks or something. And he goes in, and the hooker comes in, and she's like laying on the couch, and she's like, "You know what we should do? we should make some s'mores. And he's like, yes, that's the first same thing that anyone has ever said on this trip. I am down for that. Yeah. Much like a fucking 10-year-old kid would. And so he's clueless to what's going on. But he's like, yes, s'mores. I'm in.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I feel like if this is one of the top shows that I would definitely, if you haven't seen it, I would definitely go watch. I feel like all around it's a hidden gem. People don't talk about it a lot, but you're gonna laugh your ass off watching it.
I do also. I mean, when you think about it, you got 12 episodes. There's 12 episodes in the season, but each episode is broken up into 2. So you're essentially getting 24 episodes in season 1, which is great because you can watch one, which is like 11 minutes. Push pause if you need to. Go do something else, and then come back and watch the second episode, or just watch them back to back. So
I love that format. I feel like people haven't done that in a while. I feel like I used to see that a lot with like Cartoon Network, like old kids cartoons. I feel like with
Powerpuff Girls,
Dexter's
and
Lab,
Dexter's Lab. But yes, I haven't been this excited for a cartoon. Well, I mean, I say that lightly, but this has by far been one of the funniest, best cartoons that I've talked about on this pod. And if you haven't, as Brett said, it's on HBO Max. Go check out 10-Year-Old Tom. Al, what about you? You've been catching some Tom lately?
Yeah, Al, I really haven't heard much from you this whole episode. Can you really elaborate, like some type of
Can you weigh in?
Just give us anything.
Yeah. No Tim Robinson, nothing now?
Tits on a ball, dude. This guy is useless.
A monkey could do your job,
dude.
Al.
He's the worst, man.
Yeah. Anyhow, this episode's short. I mean, we jumped right into it. These are 2 great shows: 10-Year-Old Tom, HBO Max, The Legend of Pipi. You can check that out on YouTube right now. Highly recommend both of those. You're gonna have a blast watching them. Let us know in the comments if you have any favorite shows or any tunes that we should be watching. And like, follow, subscribe, Patreon. You know the drill by now. Almost 20 episodes in. You know the drill. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Is this my cross? I never will be the same, and I'm the one to blame. The early television.